I'm sure a lot of you have just come off watching that Tottenham match. Obviously, for those who haven't watched the game, obviously Tottenham have just finished their second pre-season game of the summer, beaten Lion City Sailors 5-1. Richarlison hat-trick, Lo Celso scored one, and Harry Kane penalty in the first half, right? But my stream today is titled Things That I Feel Like Ange needs to get right. And when I say he needs to get this right, I mean that's within the context of our entire squad, right? I'm not going to get carried away with that result because let's be real, the opposition is, bro, I don't even know what level you would call them. Singaporean league, right? Is it Singaporean league? Yeah. Like, I don't even know what level you'd call that. Like, bruh, I don't even know how that team would perform in the Europa Conference League, let alone Premier League. So, yeah, I'm not really taking a lot of like confidence off the result per se, just because of the team. But I'm liking the fact that there are still some consistent themes that I'm seeing in the two games in terms of how we actually want to approach the game of football. So that's good to see. That's good to see. But yeah, as I said, this stream is going to be a bunch of things that I feel like Ange needs to get right. Not that he's doing anything particularly wrong at the moment, but it's just things that I feel like you got to nail. You got to nail this down to try and stand as best chance as possible of doing a good job at Spurs. But as I said, people, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you're not subscribed already as well, and keep your post notifications turned on, right? But yeah, let's start with the actual. Let's start with the game. Let's start with the game itself. So I don't want to spend too much time on this. 5-1. Let me even quickly go through the stats. Bear with me, please. In fact, I'm not going to look for the stats. Sorry. Lion City Sailors, I expect it should be a mammoth amount of shots, a mammoth amount of chances. So I expected nothing less in terms of the scoreline. But I'll do what I did in my last stream and just talk through who impressed me. So I think today, impressive performers. Annoyingly, Lo Celso. Annoyingly, this guy keeps coming off the bench and looking good. And I feel like whilst I'm never going to be angry at a player doing well for Tottenham, I feel like this guy flatters to deceive, especially when we're playing against poor opposition. But he played well again today, scored a goal, quite integral to how we wanted to play when we had the ball in Lion City Sailors half. I think I'm trying to remember who else impressed me today. I felt Papi Matar was bright again today, won the penalty as well in the first half. I felt Maddison looked really good today, was at the heartbeat of everything in the first half. I'm trying to see who else. Maddison. Solomon, I think when he came on, he looked bright. Yeah, I think that's about it, really. Yeah, I know obviously Richarlison scored a hat-trick, so to be fair, he did well to score a hat-trick, but again, the opposition, like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to keep going over and over and over again. The opposition, Lion City Sailors, that doesn't really impress me, but I guess for his confidence, it's good. It's good for him to actually start getting a feel of goals, even if it is against like the worst of opposition. So, yeah, I felt like those are the ones that impressed me. I think Perisic, when he came on, he looked bright on that left-hand side. And yeah, I think that's where it ends, really. In fact, of course, Basuma, I felt like he looked good. He looked good in the first half. Obviously, they're saying that he was limping off of a bit of a knock, hoping that knock isn't too severe because we cannot afford to be losing. we can't afford to be losing the best six we have in the team at present. We can't afford that. So yeah, Kulusevski was a bit hot and cold. Like, he wasn't bad. He did okay in parts, but I felt like he could have done better. Son, for me, was a bit poor, but it's to be expected. It's his first minutes since late May, so that's over almost 2 months of football. So I didn't expect him to be razor sharp. I felt Harry Kane was a little bit flat as well. I didn't think he was as intense as I wanted him to be, but again, he's another one that's sort of feeling his way back into football. Yeah, literally, that's it. The defense, yeah, man. The defense. I mean, Lion City Sailors. They had one shot in the first half, one goal. I felt both the fullbacks, in fact, all three fullbacks that were playing in our back four, I felt that they were culpable for the first goal. Ben Davies going out to press and getting none of the ball, basically just stuck in no man's land. The ball gets switched out to the guy on the right hand side. I felt like Destiny, he should know better. He has to be a bit more aggressive, have to close down the angle for the guy to put the cross into the box. He's left-footed, so he obviously wants to come on the inside, similar to the game against West Ham with Jared Bowen. These fullbacks, you got to be tighter. Wasn't tight, let him get the ball in, and then Pedro Porro, we've seen it even in the Premier League as well, where he misjudges where his opponent is going to be and doesn't really deal with the back post threat well enough. So, yeah, annoying, sloppy goal to concede, but in the end of the day, we won. And yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let me just quickly go through some comments as well. So, Ash says, Richie lad stat padding against Singaporean fisherman, shameless. Get it how you live, bro. I'm not going to gas him up for scoring a bloody hat-trick against Scrubs, but listen, we need him to be scoring goals this season. So anything that can trigger this guy's confidence, never going to complain. AB15 says, Kane needs to go. Doesn't fit the system. Seems so disinterested. We're going to talk about Harry Kane later on, right? We're going to talk about Harry Kane later on. I don't necessarily feel like he doesn't fit the system. I feel like he needs to get used to the system. He needs to get used to the idea that he's not going to be needed to basically be camped outside the box. He needs to be a presence, usually inside the box, or try and occupy the centre backs. He can do it. The pressing, probably not. He's not as aggressive off the ball as Richarlison, but in terms of occupying the centre backs, giving them something to think about, Harry Kane can do that and has done that for Tottenham. So yeah, we'll see. But I'm going to talk on that. I'm trying to go through some more comments as well. Okay. Okay. Let's see. This one as well. Vicario disappointing. Why? What was Vicario meant to do in that situation? Like, what is he actually meant to do in that situation? The defenders have not put enough pressure on the opposition, and he thinks that Porro is going to cut it out. Porro doesn't cut it out, and then the opposing player puts the ball in the back of the net. I'm not really sure what people are expecting Vicario to do there. Like, I get it. His first game was not encouraging, but I don't really see what he did wrong today. Really, I don't see what he did wrong today, honestly. Imran says R9 is too good. Listen, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. If you ever call this guy R9 on my stream again, you might get cancelled. You're going to get blocked. Sorry. You're going to get blocked. You're going to get banned. The only R9 that exists in the history of football is El Fenomeno. Yeah? Ronaldo Nazario, not Richarlison. In fact, let this be a public service announcement to any Spurs fan who even dares call Richarlison R9. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. It's absolutely disgusting and it's egregious. It's absolutely egregious. Horrible. Shocking. Put it away. Stop it. Don't want to see it. I do not want to see it. But anywho, let me just go through the rest of the comments before I continue. Connor Ferguson says, I'm impressed with Solomon so far as a free transfer, has potential. Yeah. So, yeah, I tweeted earlier on, I said that listen, if Solomon can give us what he's given us in preseason when it actually matters against opposition with a pulse, I'll be more than calm with that, man. He looks very tricky, very lively, fast, always wants to take on his opponent, and he's shown in the 2 games that he's capable of causing problems on the left side and on the right side in terms of what he wants to bring, his dribbling, trying to fashion off shots at goal. So I really have nothing bad to say about Solomon. All I ask is, can you do it against proper opposition for Spurs? That's it. If you can do it against proper opposition for Spurs, we're Gucci. Honestly, we're Gucci, because so far so good. I like what I see, and I'll be more than content with having that off the bench for sure. For sure, for sure. Big up Molina as well. He says, watching from China Von settings, hit the like button, peeps. Yeah, people, smash the like button. For those who have joined in just now, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. Keep your post notifications turned on. But yeah, I guess we're back here again. So Solomon was one of the players that impressed me. But I want to talk about some of the things that I feel like Ange needs to do. In fact, before I do, let me go through some more comments. Let me give you guys some spotlight, man. Big up Rowan as well, long time viewer of my content. Big up, man. Hope you're good. I believe you live in Argentina. He says, thought that was a pretty fun game that showed what Ange is trying to do. Can't expect good defending with this defense. Yeah, I think on that, in terms of what Ange is trying to do, I think we can see it clearly, right? We see that the fullbacks tuck in. You see when we have the ball and we're camped in the opposition's half, you're seeing Pedro Porro basically as an interior. Sometimes you see Destiny as an interior. You see that the number 8s are further forward, right? You saw that with Lo Celso today. You saw that with Skip a couple of times today. You saw that with Papi Matar a couple of times today, where he's taking shots at the edge of the area. And you always see the wingers high and wide, waiting for the ball to try and take on the opponent 1v1. So I think from a style point of view, this is what we want as Spurs fans. Obviously, we need to see it where it matters when the season starts. We need to see how well it works against Premier League opposition when the season starts. But in terms of the style, right, it's only been 2 games, but we can already see an imprint in terms of what Ange wants to try and do with this team. We just need, in some positions, like Rowan said, we just need better pieces in the defense, and we just need a bit more consistency in how we want to play in the midfield and in the attack as well. Just going through some more comments. Big up Simon as well. Thank you for the super chat. He says, hi Tobes, love your channel. Much love from Gothenburg. Appreciated, bro. Appreciated. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for your viewership. Appreciate it. People asking me, are you not well? I'm well. It's just hay fever. Apologies. I get punched up by flowers in the summer and it does my head in. But yeah, let's talk quickly about the things that Ange must do, because I guess it sort of ties in. It sort of ties in with the friendly and just general news and discussion points that we've seen so far this summer. And the first thing I feel like Ange needs to get right this season is his utilization of the talented young players, right? Of the talented young players. I want to see Ange give them more opportunity. So I was reading some of the quotes from his interview yesterday, and he was praising Papi Matar a lot. He was highly complimentary of Sarr, right? Giving him high praise, talking about how like he's very, very, like, he's a very, very technical player. His mobility, his agility, how he's able to influence the game with and without the ball, breaking lines, etc., etc. So I want him to be a man of his word, right? It's not just enough to talk the talk about a player on our team who's got talent. You now need to give him the opportunity, right? Bentancur is not going to be back into this team for a good couple of months. He's not. Let's just call a spade a spade. He's not going to be back in his team for a good couple of months, which means that there is an opportunity for someone to basically stake a claim for a starting spot in his absence. There is, right? Apologies. Basuma, we've already spoken on the last stream, is going to get the number 6 slot, and Madison is probably going to get the furthest 8 role, right? The left 8. Yeah. So I feel like there's a vacant spot for the right 8 position. And I feel like someone like Papi Matar, you should try him. Yeah, of course, there's several options that he can go with. You've obviously got Celso, who's performing in pre-season, but to be honest, I'm not convinced, and I need, and I'll get onto Lo Celso in a second. You've got Ndombele, who we've not really seen yet because of these injuries. We don't know how many games he's going to get on the Ange. You've got, who else you got? You got Alfie Devine, who can play centrally as well, but was deployed on the right-hand side against West Ham. I just want Ange to use some of the young talent. And when I say the young talent, I'm talking about Sarr and I'm talking about Devine. I feel like those are the two, in my opinion, that are ready to get some minutes this upcoming season. They don't have to be starters week in, week out, right? But I feel like they can make a reasonable contribution to whatever aspirations we have this upcoming season. Genuinely, I believe that. People are saying the camera has given me a new hairline. This hasn't given me a new hairline. This is my hairline. You can see it's very patchy, right? But it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, don't distract me. We need to prioritize these young G's, man. We do. I feel like Devine has got more of a build suited to the Premier League than someone like Brian Hill, for instance. I've always said that someone like Brian Hill, he's got the talent. Like, he's got the technical quality, but he doesn't have the physical profile to actually execute what he's trying to pull off, right? He's got the trickery to try and evade players, but he's just so flimsy that even when he tries to go past an opponent, they can just knock him off the ball. See ya. They'll just knock him off the ball. So I think, I completely forgot we've got Barcelona as well. So we got 2 more games. Yeah, we've got 2 more games. I completely forgot about that Barcelona game. So, yeah, I think someone like Devine, like, whether he plays out wide, whether he plays central, we've seen when young, talented players break through into the team, they normally get deployed out wide to start with. Like Mason Greenwood as a striker got deployed out wide. Phil Foden was a 10. Right, coming through the ranks, got deployed out wide, still gets deployed out wide for Man City. I see no reason why we can't do the same with someone like Alfie Devine, right? And then Papi Matar looks like he can play as a 6, can play as an 8. Give him minutes. So that's the first thing Ange needs to do. Give the young G's a chance, right? Who's to say what Devine can do to try and offer us something different if Kulusevski is not on it at a particular game, right? Who's to say what Papi Matar can do if he's given the trust to start like our first Premier League match this season as an 8? Who's to say what could happen, right? Spurs still have somewhat of a midfield conundrum. We have some talented players there. Don't get it twisted, but there's still 1 or 2 more profiles that we're looking to add, most notably like a proper ball dominant 6, right? Basuma's good technical play in terms of his ability to protect the ball, to dribble the ball, nice feet, right? But his passing range isn't expansive. Spurs are still looking out for that profile. In the number 8, Spurs are still waiting on how Bentancur is going to come back from his injury. Do you get what I'm saying? So I feel like with no European football and with some of the circumstances we've had and the squeeze that we have on finances with what we spent so far and what we need to purchase in the defensive areas, let's try and prioritize some of the youngsters and see whether they can make up for some of the areas where we would normally look to seek further investment in. Let's try it. That's what we need. So that's my first point. Give the young G's a chance, right? Sarin CM, Divine as a I don't know, as the most advanced A or a Y player, give them a chance. Give them a chance. The second thing I think I want to see from Ange Postecoglou, right? Irrespective of the friendlies, I want Ange to be as ruthless in allowing the club to continue to try and cut the dead wood, right? Someone like Højbjerg, for instance, he's come on both these two games. He's not put a foot wrong. He's not put a foot wrong. He's playing some good passes, slicing through the lines, but yet Højbjerg is on the cusp of agree in terms of Atletico Madrid. Why? Because he's not good enough for Spurs. Doesn't mean he's an awful player, but he's not good enough for Tottenham. And that's fine, right? You sell him, you get your money, you use it to buy a player that can improve Tottenham. I want that to be done with the rest of the players we have in our squad. Davinson Sanchez, subject of a £12 million bid from one of these Russian teams. I can't even remember the team. Obviously, Sanchez needs to decide, right? But Spurs need to now do the same for Rodon. Need to do the same for Tanganga. We need to prioritize getting rid of Deadwood. I feel like because I feel like we've brought in 3 players so far, but we need to get rid of the Deadwood, right? Harry Winks, to my knowledge, is the only player that's actually been sold this summer. Yeah, we still need more. We still need more. Lo Celso, he's impressing. He's impressing Ange Postecoglou, and we're hearing some of these reports from these unconfirmed sources that Ange is willing to give him a chance. The truth is, I don't know. I don't know. Ange is the new manager, right? So Ange is only going to go off who is impressing him. And if Lo Celso is doing something in training, if Lo Celso is continuing to play as well as he is in pre-season, then of course Ange is probably going to reconsider his use for Spurs, especially in the system that probably annoyingly suits Lo Celso, right? He's never really been a pure 10 for me. He's never been. He was an Ericsson replacement, sure, but he's not really a 10. He was more of like a goal scoring 8 who could probably play more advanced and did play more advanced for Betis. I would want to sell him. I'll be real. I still want to sell him. Lo Celso turning it on against poor opposition isn't surprising to me. He's done it before in the Conference League at home, not away, at home. He's done it before. So I don't know. I don't rate the guy, man. I'm sorry. Not the worst player in the world, but for Spurs, this guy's been absolutely garbage. He stinks. He absolutely stinks. So for me, I think Ange should be ruthless in letting man like this also go. If he keeps him, I'll have to bite my tongue. In fact, I won't bite my tongue. You lot know me. I'm not going to bite my tongue. I'm not. I'm going to voice my displeasure over it, and it'll be up to Lo Celso to try and win over the fans and actually earn his manager's trust. Yeah. So I feel like your Lo Celsos, your Højbjergs, your Rodons, your Tangangas, they need to go. Even in a fullback position as well. We've got so many fullbacks, right? There needs to be a decision made on Jed Spence this season. I don't want to sell him. Don't want to sell Jed. But we need to loan him out. And if we're going to loan him out, we need to loan him out to a Premier League club. We need to loan him out to a Premier League club that are actually going to play this guy. Get regular game time. Get yourself experienced in this league, right? Get yourself experienced in this league. On the left-hand side, we've got Reguilon, Davies, Destiny, and Sessegnon. That is too much, too many fullbacks, right? Sess needs to go, and there's a decision needs to be made on Ben Davies and Reguilon, right? Destiny is staying, right? So the club need to decide which of the 2 left backs they want to pick out of out of Ben Davies, out of Reguilon. I don't think either are good enough to start. Personally, I think this upcoming season, it's clear. I want to see Destiny get the lion's share of minutes. But who comes in for Destiny when he needs to be rotated in and out of the team, that's up to the manager, right? If I had it my way, I would probably pick Reguilon. Not the greatest choice, but I feel like as backup, we could do worse. I feel like Ben Davies, he's had his chance. But then again, Ben Davies defensively has always been a bit of a steady Eddie, which works both for and against him. Reguilon, whereas, is a bit of a headless chicken. So, yeah, I don't know. Ange needs to make that decision. But either way, we need to cut down the size of this squad. No Champions League football, no Europa League football, no Conference League football. That means that you should make a considerable effort to cut this squad down. There's at least 9 players that I want to see out the door before the window closes. And not all need to be sales. Some will be loans. Spence will be a loan. Even Brian Hill. Where the heck is Brian Hill gone? Where is Brian Hill? Can somebody find Brian Hill, please? Where is he? Honestly, I don't know where this brother is, but he needs to go. Right? He needs to go. If it's on loan him out to a Premier League club. Get his physique up to scratch. Or cut your losses. We gambled big on Brian Hill. We spent a lot of money. What was it like? I think it was like 20 million quid plus Lamella. Like, that's a lot of money you spent on Brian Hill. Sorry. Apologies. Hay fever mashing me up. I'm going to go on mute for a second. Sorry. I had to go on mute because I realized I was being quite rude by blowing bare hard into the mic. So apologies. But yeah, Brian Hill, a decision needs to be made on him and we need to be ruthless. If there is no future for Brian Hill at the club, then we need to cut ties with him this summer. We can't keep doing this stop-start loan thing. If we're going to loan him, you have to be assured that this guy has a place in the squad and he's going to be reintegrated eventually. I'm tired of this back and forth or let's keep him around but not play him. And then we loan him in January for 6 months to Sevilla. And then back in the summer, we keep him for 6 months. Then we loan him again to Sevilla. I'm tired of it. Honestly, I'm tired of it. A decision needs to be made. Are you good enough or not? The fact of the matter is, right now, he isn't. On talent, I like him. On physicality, he isn't. He's not up to scratch. And when I look at our options out wide at the moment, we have Son, we have Kulusevski, we then have Solomon, right? Who's going to be next up. Perisic looks way more assured out wide than Brian Hill. And Perisic, we don't know what's going to happen in Perisic. We were told that he was looking to go back to Croatia. Club were looking to terminate his contract. They could well terminate his contract. But if Perisic is kept, he looks to me like he'd be a much better option off the bench than Brian Hill. Stronger, got more technical quality, and he's experienced. Right, and then of course you got Alfie Devine, who can slot in potentially out wide as well, and looks physically a bit more suited to the Prem. So yeah, man, a decision needs to be made on Papi Matar, and I think that's one of many things Ange needs to sort. He needs to get it right. What are you going to do with the one toys? Right? I look at our midfield options. Sorry, just to go back to the midfield options. So we now have Bentancur, Maddison, Sarr, Skip, Bissouma, Ndombele, Lo Celso. Wait, Bentancur, Bissouma, Maddison, Ndombele, Lo Celso, Højbjerg, Skip. There's one more I'm missing. Right now we have like eight midfielders. We know that Højbjerg is leaving, so that drops us down to 7. Typically, I think a team who are challenging on all fronts, you want 6 midfielders fighting for 3 spots. If you get 7, that's even a luxury. Yeah. So it's up to Ange what he wants to do, right? But for the time being, if we were to keep Lo Celso, it would be 7 midfielders basically fighting for 3 spots. Bentancur doesn't come back until November, so it would be 6 midfielders fighting for 3 spots. So you would imagine it would be Bissouma, Skip in the 6, Ndombele and Sarr in one of the 8 rows, Lo Celso and Maddison in one of the 8 rows. Me personally, as I told you already, I would sell. I would sell Lo Celso. I genuinely would. I would sell Lo Celso. I don't think he's good enough for Tottenham. But if Ange wants to keep him and thinks that he can make these guys happy, I'll shut up. In fact, I'm not going to shut up. But it is what it is. We'll see how that pans out. But he needs to make a decision there, right? He needs to make a decision there. There's so many players with the future still not resolved yet. The defense, the midfield, the attack. Even Lloris trying to sort out a new move away as well. And obviously he isn't with the squad. So there's a lot that needs to be done. And it's not all on Ange. It's not all on Ange. I'm sure Ange has probably made his feelings clear on some of the players he wants to keep, some of the players he doesn't want to keep. But it's ultimately up to the club to try and find buyers and move these guys on. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But anyway, let me just quickly go through some comments and then we'll move on. Right. So big up Arpov as well. He says, Sarr and Bissouma have to be our starting 2 CMs until Ben 10 is back. We should keep Lo Celso. Any which ways, we would only get a loan for him. Son can't play that wide left wing role. Start Solomon and Emerson. So let me dissect your super chat. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Let's dissect a lot of what you said. So Sarr and Bissouma have to be our starting 2 CMs. I'm with that. I am so with that. Genuinely, to start the season, Maddison left, Sarr as the right 8, Bissouma. I'm so with that. We should keep Lo Celso. I'm not with that, but I can understand your reasoning for why you want that. I'm not with that. I think the guy's been arse at Spurs, but I guess people will say if there's an argument to keep certain players, then God, it makes me sick. But I'm not gonna get any more words out on that one because I've spoken about Lo Celso over the past couple of minutes. So we'll agree to disagree. Son can't play wide left. I think from a dribbling perspective, yeah, you'd probably want a bit more of a dribbler in that role when you're taking on players 1v1. But I think that's his natural position. We want Son coming in off the left-hand side, right? Especially when he's trying to make those out to in runs. I think in a team that are possession-based and are going to have midfielders that are going to play with a lot more verticality, centre-backs who are going to play with a lot more verticality, full-backs who are going to play with a lot more verticality, you want Son in this system because he's someone who can get you a big chunk of goals, right? But Solomon, I think, so far so good, but we need to see it against proper opposition. But so far so good. No complaints. And the Emerson one is interesting, right? I get why people want Emerson to start because he looks quite comfortable in this inverted role. He does, and I know he played it a couple of times for Spurs last season, and defensively he just looks way more assured than Pedro Porro. But I just feel like Pedro Porro just has much more capability with the ball at his feet in the opposition's half than Emerson. So we'll see. It's up to the manager. If it's me, I'm starting Porro over Emerson every day of the week, even with his defensive frailties. But yeah, I get you. Fair. Thanks for the super chat, bro. Big up Lucas is again. He says you in Turkish to Turkey. Here we go. Nah, bro, no turkey for me. I just cut my hair off. Yep, no turkey for me. Yeah. Anyway, for those who are still tuning in as well, please, for those who have just joined, if you joined in the last 5, 10, 15 minutes, please make sure you smash the like button. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well. Please turn your post notifications on as well. Now, I actually want to move away from Ange because I feel like so far he's not done anything to worry me. I think his profile players sometimes is a bit spooky, but so far so good. I'm liking the things he says about some of our players. I'm liking the way he's setting up the team. I'm liking the way he's sort of facing up against any sort of BS that the press ask him, right? But I want to move away from what he needs to get right because he's not doing much wrong at the moment. And I've given you my rationale on the players, the midfield composition. I think the last thing I want to mention before I do actually move on, to be fair, is the defense. I think Ange needs to absolutely be strong with the club when it comes to the defense and try not to let them compromise on the caliber of player that he's looking for at centre back or the number of options he's looking for at centre back. His comments, I think it was yesterday, he said he wants to, and the club are looking to bring in at least one, right? We need two. Sorry if I sound like a broken record. Sorry, but I have to keep talking about the centre backs because they are pivotal. With the way he wants to play, they are pivotal. Absolutely pivotal. We cannot go into the season with Ben Davies as our left centre back. We cannot go into the season relying on Davies and Dyer as centre back options. The aim is to try and bring in two, in my eyes. Bring in two, which pushes these guys either out of the club or further down the pecking order. So you only end up having to use them as a last resort scenario, right? So that's my last thing that I'm asking for Ange to get right. The amount of pressure he applies onto the club for a centre-back. From what I gather, looking at his press conferences, he's not a guy who minces his words. I don't think he seems like a yes man as well, right? But again, it's early days. However, I feel like he needs to be strong, right? Not just in the number of centre-backs he wants, but as I said, the caliber of centre-backs. If you are offered Longley and Tosin, politely tell them, man, that's not going to work for me. I need one of the two main targets that we've been scouting, Mickey or Tapsoba. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't want another manager railroaded by the hierarchy, bringing in subpar options, right? And then midway through the season, we're asking, oh, why are Spurs so poor? They signed Well, because it's not the player that the manager needed. So the centre-backs of the utmost importance. Any money that is generated from player sales, it has to go towards centre-backs. It must. It must. I don't want to hear about no Conor Gallagher. I don't want to hear about no Douglas Luiz. I don't want to hear about even Mwani. I don't want to hear about even someone to come in for Harry Kane until these two centre-backs are signed. Get the two centre-backs, then we worry about everything else. Get the two centre-backs in, and then we focus on some of the other areas if there's cash left to spend or circumstances change. But those two need to come in. It's not panic stations just yet as far as the CBs are concerned, but the season does start in just over 2 weeks. 2 weeks and 2 days. So 2 weeks and 2 days, Spurs absolutely need to get in at least one centre-back before the season starts. And then we need to get in at least another centre-back before the transfer window ends, right? We need two centre-backs. Two, not one, two, right? We need two good centre-backs. Let me just quickly go through some comments as well. Big up KG in the chat as well. He said, hay fever is a pain. Bring on winter and all of the snow. Yeah, I bet you love a bit of snow, don't you? Hey, if you know, you know, man. If you know, you know. Boy. Omar says, this is live. Listen, I need you to start winning because I can't take another 6 months of smug Arsenal fans again. Boy, listen, we can only hope and pray, bro. We can only hope and pray. Kim says, I think we need to remember the way we're going to be playing. The counter-pressing that's obviously being drilled instead of constantly dropping back. Yeah, the counter-pressing is a good point, right? So, sorry, just to deviate from the centre-back, but the counter-pressing is a good point because I felt today as well in the friendly, just to go back on the friendly, in the second half, the second team, you could tell that those players were a lot more fresher than the first team that played, right? And you could see that obviously Kane not as aggressive as Richarlison, Son wasn't as aggressive as Perisic, Lo Celso a lot more aggressive than Maddison. It felt like the the second team had a bit more tenacity, a bit more bite. It's funny because the second team are the ones that sort of lack a little bit more technical quality in comparison to the first, but they have bundles and bundles of energy. But I get your point. I think the counter pressing is going to be key, and it obviously led to one of the goals which was scored. I think it was Richarlison's goal, the first goal. Counter pressing is going to be key, not just the pressing from the front, but the counter press. How quickly can you win the ball back when a move breaks down? And I think that's something that Andrew's going to be drilling into our players. And I think that's why people are looking at Lo Celso as potentially a player that can be kept. But anyway, I don't want to digress. And as I said, I don't want to emphasize on that game too much because it's against scrubs. So we got to see this shit against Prem opposition when they actually have their full team available. But off from Ange, I want to talk about Bayern Munich, right? I want to talk about Bayern Munich and I want to talk about their disrespect for Harry Kane. And I want to talk about their disrespect. In fact, not for Harry Kane. I want to talk about the disrespect for Tottenham. Yeah? Every single day chatting. Yeah? Every single day chatting. Right? First, it was that hoe. Uli Hones the hoe. Yeah? Hones the hoe. Because all he's doing is chatting, opening his legs for Harry Kane. Right? Opening his legs for Spurs. Oh, we need Kane at the club. This, that, and the third. Like, relax, bro. Absolutely relax. Honestly, they're such slappers. Right? They're slow to bring out their wallet, but they're quick to open their mouths. Such tarts. Absolute skeezers. Yeah? Same for that other one as well. So Hunes was talking a lot of waffle, talking about Kane at Bayern last week, basically pretending as if it was a deal that's guaranteed to happen. Something that will undoubtedly aggravate the likes of Daniel Levy and co. And then Herbert Haino, Herbert the Harlot, right? Talking about how like Harry Kane would be an attractive move for the club and how it would raise the profile of the Bundesliga, blah, blah, blah. Actively talking up a possibility of Kane joining. Where's the respect? Where is the respect, honestly? Right? You've wasted our time with 2 derisory offers, and now you've got club mouthpieces whoring themselves out, talking up the move for Harry Kane, when they know that all of this could be solved by them simply putting the money down, honestly. But no, they want to just open their mouth, yap. Just chatting for chatting's sake, wasting our time. Let me even find this nonsense that this guy was saying. Let me even find it. That pissed me off. I can't even lie. Can you imagine? The Bayern Munich president, the Bayern Munich president saying this. Like, it's mad. It's absolutely mad. Yeah, what did he say? Yeah, he said, yeah, one sec. I'll share my screen with you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. Such slappers, honestly. No respect. No respect at all. Maybe it's a Spurs thing. They don't rate us. But look at the nonsense that this guy was saying. He said, I don't think I don't even know why he's got Kane in his mouth. I don't think the Bundesliga has so many international stars anymore. That influences to the way the Bundesliga is marketed internationally. FC Bayern are always trying to bring in international stars to make us in the Bundesliga better. Harry Kane is definitely a very attractive player, captain and top scorer of the English national team, top scorer. He would be good for Bayern and the Bundesliga, right? And then they've even got Honest the Ho. They've even got his comments earlier the month saying Harry Kane has made it very clear in all the talks that he has made up his mind. If it stays this way, we'll get him. Then Tottenham will have to give in. Honestly, they genuinely think that we're one of these we're Schalke. They think we're Schalke. They think we are Union Berlin. They genuinely believe this is the Bundesliga. They can just talk about a player that they want however they want, and they'll just get him. No, it don't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And I'm not saying this to say that Bayern can't sign Harry Kane. They absolutely can. They stand a really good chance of signing Harry Kane if they put the money down. If they don't put the money down this summer, fine. They stand a reasonable chance of signing Kane next summer, right? According to Hunes the Ho and Heiner the Harlot, right? Herbert the Harlot, yeah. According to them both, they've put in lots of groundwork with Harry Kane. They've put in lots of groundwork. So it shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue, right? Wrong. I think next summer, yeah, they stand a decent chance of signing him, but so do Real Madrid. So do Man United. So do Chelsea, right? So do teams that are as big as Bayern, if not bigger, and can offer more money than Harry Kane. I mean, can offer more money than Bayern. It's harder. It's invariably harder to sign Harry Kane next summer on a free than it is right now for Bayern in terms of pulling him away from other clubs. So they're just wasting our time here. Too much lip service. Just pay the money. If you don't want to pay the money, stop waffling. Sick and tired of the dumb comments. It's just so disrespectful. It's ridiculous. Man are saying, how are you calling 80-year-old grandpa a hoe? I am, because he's acting immature and petty. You are not even negotiating properly with the club. You're not bringing in offers that the club can realistically accept, and yet you're talking with such certainty. Maybe he knows something I don't. I don't know. But all I know is this. 60 million pounds is not getting you Harry Kane. 70 million pounds is not getting you Harry Kane. Up the price, up the valuation, up the money that you want to throw down. Yeah, when you do that, then I guess Spurs would talk. My stance on this has always been clear, and annoyingly, this is what I wanted. This is what I didn't want. Like, I didn't want this. A long-lasting saga that we're just going to have to keep talking about every single time, because we have to. Something new comes out every couple of days, honestly. There was even a Sky Sports report that it came out yesterday. It says, oh, Bayern Munich are increasingly confident in Harry Kane. Probably. I don't know. All I do know is 60 million pounds and 70 million pounds. It's not landing Harry Kane. It's not landing Harry Kane. Simple. So they just need to do the right thing here. Honestly, my stance has been clear. Sell Harry Kane this summer for the best price possible, because it doesn't look like he's going to sign a new deal. He wants to leave. Doesn't want to kick up a fuss this summer, right? Because he's chilling. If he stays this summer, he's happy to. He loves the club, and he'll leave on a free next summer where he can earn tons of money. Or if a team comes in and makes the offer that meets Spurs' valuation, he'll go to a team this summer and also make mega money. He's laughing either way, right? So for me, I just want a resolution. I want a resolution. And I saw obviously Spurs were linked to Moani yesterday. Just a word on this. I would be happy with that. I can't lie to you. Nobody in world football is going to outright replace Harry Kane like for like. Nobody. There's nobody Tottenham can sign to do that, right? Nobody. But we have to try it and move on from Harry Kane. And I feel like Moani is a good compromise. 80 million euros. It's the state of the market, to be honest. The market is dusted. And I don't even know if those reports are true. The market is absolutely dusted. But Moani for 80 million euros, I'm having him all day long. He's a very good player. Very good player. I get it. Only 1-1-2 season. I understand it. Right now, the market is murked. You're going to have to pay like 70, 80 million euros. In fact, let me do it in pounds. You're going to have to pay like 65 to 75 million pounds for guys who are hitting in between 1 in 3 and 1 in 2. That's the market now, unfortunately. And within that distorted market, Kolomwani for 80 million euros, I'll be calm with it. More than calm with it. 100 million euros was disgusting to me. That's what put me off of Moani before. The price that Frankfurt put on his head was nuts. And rightly so. They don't want to lose him. But from a neutral perspective, it's nuts. And whilst he's probably not worth like 65 million pounds right now, he's a good, talented, young, up-and-coming striker who can actually operate out wide as well. So, yeah. If those reports are true, I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. I guess I'd have to be. Anyway, people, make sure you smash the like button, please. Hit the like button right now. I'm just going to go through some more comments and I'm going to finish off on Joe Lewis. Hit the like button right now. So KG's bombastic side eye says, Toes, which two would you take out of Tapsoba, Gertruda, Desassi, and Inacio? Bro, I'll be real with you. I don't watch 3 out of 4 of these, man. I've heard of Desassi. He's the Monaco centre-back. Inacio, the Sporting Lisbon centre-back, and obviously Tapsoba. I don't watch these guys like that. I only know off research, word of mouth. I think out of all the centre-backs here, Tapsoba is the only one I've watched the most of, and he looks good. So I can't really answer that question with confidence, bro. John Santos, would you take El Nesri from Sevilla? Absolutely not. That guy is a 2-pack of arse. Stinks. Lewa, nah, not a chance. Right now in 2023, he's not as good as Harry Kane. Sorry. Patrick says you don't even need it to get a 9 if you play Richie there. We need the competition. We need someone who, for me, is better than Richarlison, or at the very least, someone who we can rely on alongside Richarlison. We can't just rely on Richie as our 9 for the whole season. As much as I want him to do well at Spurs, I also recognize that there's a drop-off in quality that needs to, at the very least, be, we need to try and chip away at that deficit, right? Let me see what other comments. Zarsper says 60 million is an insult. It is an insult. You're right. It is an insult. Dwayne says Richarlison looked good today. Reckon he can be Kane's replacement. Listen, today we were playing a team with no pulse. We're playing a team in the Singaporean league. Richarlison hasn't even dented anywhere near the depth of bad performances that he put in last season with that hat-trick. Nah, sorry. Is he good enough to be Kane's replacement? No, he isn't, right? He's not. But is he good enough to score goals for Tottenham? Yeah, he is. He is. But he needs to actually do it against teams that matter, in competitions that actually matter. Because today, as good as that was for his confidence, sorry, that's not, no Spurs fan is going away from that thinking, oh, wow, I've got so much confidence in Richie to be our number 9 striker this upcoming season. He needs to prove it to us against teams that matter. But good confidence for him. He alone can't be Kane's replacement. If Kane leaves, we need to bring in another attacker. Whether it's a wide man who plays left and we move Son central, or whether we bring in someone like Moani to play alongside Richie to compete for one spot, we need to bring in someone else, right? We can't just leave the squad as is and sell Kane. Pepper says Ferguson. Yeah, listen. Ferguson, Kolomwani, who was the other one? Gonzalo Ramos, Vlahovic. Like, these are the type of strikers that we'd probably want to try and buy if we can. But to be honest, Gonzalo Ramos, he looks a really good finisher, but I'm not convinced with him on the whole. Right, I still need to see more. However, he's someone you'd look at. Vlahovic, not had the best time in Juventus, but he looks like he's a driller. But again, would he come to Tottenham? Evan Ferguson, really, really like this kid. It's a lot of money. Again, I get it. We'd have to overpay. But I believe in that kid's talent, and it's not my money. It's actually not my money. So same with Moani. It's the same for Ferguson. Overpay if you have to. Just get us talented players. Yeah. Ivan Toney is a good shout, but again, the betting situation. If Harry Kane leaves now, do we wait 6 months and try and get him in January? And do we want to sign a 28-year-old striker, having just sold a 30-year-old striker, or do we want to try and go younger? I'll take Tony happily. I think he's a good striker. Honestly, I've really come to respect what he offers over the last year and a half or so. I never used to really rate the guy when he first came to the Premier League, but I must admit he can play. He can really play. He can really play. But anyway, my last word before I end the stream. Joe Lewis, some dodgy guy, man. Dodgy old guy. Insider trading. Sending peas to his workers and telling them to put money down on specific stocks related to companies that he's an investor in. Like, bruh, this guy has been caught red-handed. His hand has been caught red. His hands have been caught red-handed in the cookie jars, in multiple cookie jars. Fingerprints all over them jars. So what's going to happen to Spurs? Probably nothing. I don't know. I was asking about it on Twitter. I don't know. But it is kind of mad. Obviously, he owns the majority stake in ENIC, who own a majority stake in Tottenham. So initially, I was thinking, maybe if he was to be convicted, this might have an impact on his ownership terms with the Premier League. But then I was reminded today that he actually ceded control to two particular individuals. And the guy's also like 89 years old. He's bare old. So I don't know. Got to keep a close eye on that one. All I know is that the state of New York, they're not playing with this guy. They want him banged to rights. So let's see. Anyway, people, I'm gonna close out this stream right now. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for giving me your comments, your super chats, your thoughts, your suggestions. Thanks for watching. As I said, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you drop your comments as well. Drop those comments. Let me know your thoughts on everything that's been discussed today. And let me know your thoughts on just the whole streaming, upload. Just let me know if there's anything that you feel like I could do better, apart from being late, because I can't help that. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well, and make sure your post notifications are turned on so you know the next time I go live. But until then, people, take care and peace.